everybody, so today I'm going to be showing you how to do some of these techniques that we did in class. This is just a little review in case you need to go back and see how it's done again, or in case you missed it for whatever reason. I just want to show you how we can do these things. So our first one we're going to be looking at is this one right here. You'll notice that it is a color blend where you're blending one color into another. Our second technique that we're going to look at is called burnishing. And our third one is just being able to create lights and darks within an art piece using colored pencil as well as just using normal pencil. Alright, so for our first one, we're going to be doing a color blend. So in order to do this, it typically works best if you're new at it to do two colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. For example, red and orange or green and blue. But if you want to do something more advanced and try two colors that are not next to each other on the color wheel, it'll still work. It'll be fine. It just tends to look a little bit smoother if they are next to each other on the color wheel. So for mine, I think I'm going to blend this dark green, and let's go with this yellow. So what I'm going to start out with is I'm going to start out by pressing really hard with this green and gradually taking that pressure off until it goes all the way to light. And then I'm going to do the same thing but the opposite way with this yellow. Start out pressing really hard. And gradually lighten up so that it can blend a little bit better. Now, if you feel like this is not a smooth enough blend the first time, what you can do is you can go back over some of these pieces. I would always start out lighter and then go darker a little bit later, just because it's really hard to erase colored pencil. It doesn't work too well, so it's better to stay lighter rather than darker in order to prevent mistakes. I don't know who's singing outside my window. They're a little out of tune though, but it's fine. All right, so this is our color blend. Then for our next technique I'm going to show you, it is called burnishing. Essentially what it is a way to create a color and make sure that you're not having any extra white space, and also to make sure that you're having the color be nice and vibrant on the page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press pretty hard. I'm going to be moving in small little circles like this and overlapping some of my pencil marks. And you will notice that this starts to get a pretty constant color. So that's exactly what our goal is when we're burnishing. Move it in circles, press pretty hard and have them close together in order to get this constant color. Now as for our last one, we're going to be looking a little bit at value. So I know we kind of glossed over this the other day when we went over the elements and principles. Remember, we have highlight, midtone, and shadow, also known as light, medium, and dark. So first, just to practice, I'm going to make 3 boxes, and I'm going to show my highlight, midtone, and shadow in these boxes. So my first one that I'll start off with is my shadow. So I'll be pressing down pretty hard so that I get this really nice dark, just like that. And then for my midtone, I'm going to alleviate the pressure just a little bit. So it's just a little bit lighter. And then for my highlight, I'm going to try to make it quite light so that I can have 3 different shades. So I'm going to put an S for shadow, an M for midtone, and an H for highlight. Afterwards, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to do a practical application of this. So let's say you have this shape in your art piece, but you want to turn it into a form. So in order to turn it into a form, we're going to add in a little bit of a shadow. So I've drawn in my nice little kindergarten sun over here, and my area right by that sun will be the lightest, and my area the furthest away will be the darkest. So I'm going to start off by putting in those darker values. And gradually fade it until I get those lighter values. It also really helps if you keep your pencil marks kind of consistent with the shape. So for example, you'll notice the bottom is round. So I want my pencil marks to be a little bit more rounded rather than straight across. Not a necessity, but it does help with making it look more realistic. So there we go, I have my shadowed form right there. Then for my next one, I'm going to show you all how you can do the same thing but with colors, because I know that some of you might want to work with colors, and that's totally fine. So I'm going to have a colored pencil that is lighter and a colored pencil that is darker. If you're making shadows, I find that the cool colors tend to work best for shadows. That's not to say that you can't do a warm color, but typically your cool colors will work best for the shadows. So I'm drawing in the same shape, and I'm going to start out applying a lot of pressure with this right here. And then gradually making it lighter. In order to have that nice gradient. So if you wanted to leave it green and white, you could do that. If you want to make it a two-toned thing, you can do that too. So what I'm going to do if I want to make it two-toned, kind of like how we did for the color blending up above, I'll start off light right by where those two meet. If you want to make it darker, you can. I personally am going to leave it a little light so that it looks a little bit lighter where that light is. And that is how I can make it two-toned. So if you all have any questions or if you need any help, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm typically available by email, or also you can ask me in the Google Meet, or you can ask me at the help desk, which we talked about today in class. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you later.